get spooked. One cold fall night, it began to sprinkle. Percy felt worried. The rails will be slippery tonight and I could crash, cried Percy sadly. Oh, please, Percy, began James. What could possibly happen? Aren't you supposed to have character development by now? Asked Percy, very annoyed. Shut up! At least I would do it, boasted James. Percy rolled his eyes. Anyway, Percy, don't worry, nothing will happen. I'll take it for you, said Thomas happily. Thank you, Thomas. I promise I'll take it next Tuesday, said Percy sadly. I promise. Sure you will, Percy, boasted James. Like you could do it, Percy replied, very cross. Okay, you two, stop arguing. James, why don't you take the mail? Said Emily. Wait, I never said that I would, replied James. Yes, you did, Thomas said cheekily. Well, Thomas, I said that I would do... Oh. Gordon laughed proudly. And I've pulled the mail before anyway. Albeit not very well. But if you could take the mail, then you must be able to take the flying kipper too, then, laughed Henry. James wasn't thinking. Of course I can. So James stormed off, faster than the speed of sound. By the time it was midnight, James had realized his mistake. I have to get back at Henry and Percy somehow. The next day, James was plotting his revenge in the yard. That's when Doug had arrived. He crossly chatted with Diesel briefly, and he went to collect his trucks. But he had overheard what James said to himself and felt worried for Henry and Percy. Doug rushed off. Shoo, James, shoo! Yelled Diesel. James jumped and ran away. At the sheds that evening, Doug raced onto the turntable. Percy, Henry, James is on to you, cried Doug wearily. On to us? What did we do? Oh, never mind. But mine was true. Yes, but he thinks you're lying, Doug said. We need to work together to get back at him. So that night, they thought and thought and thought. That night, when Percy set out for the mail, their plan began. James sat along the main line nearest to Wellsworth Station. His driver thought that his trick was hilarious. So earlier that day, they went to get a more eerie type of whistle. Meanwhile, as Doug pulled up on James, Percy went an opposite way. Henry whistled through with the kipper. And Doug rammed into James. He then gave out the longest and loudest whoosh of his whistle he had ever done. James was frightened. He jumped and ran away. Ha ha! Oh, just like back at home, laughed Doug. That night, Doug had arrived at the sheds, very confused. Hello? He muttered softly. Percy peeped. Oh, hi, Percy. How did you get here before me? Said Doug, clearly confused. I sent you up to Peel. I find my ways around the railway, laughed Percy back. That's when from behind the sheds appeared a coach. Doug jumped and Percy squeaked. but the rest of the story is to be held this Halloween.
Roll the credits.
A Thomas the Tank Engine fan production.